Right. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining. I'm Dr. Purvesh Parekh, along with Dr. Srishti Jain. We are doing this program called Rupee to Sampatti, and the whole idea is to empower our colleagues to create wealth in a very systematic manner. These programs we conduct on the last Thursday of every month from 8 p.m. onwards. And today in the hot seat, and you can see Dr. Anil Singhvi. He is sitting in a seat which is red in color, so we can call it the hot seat. He is a very dear friend, and he is a hematologist like me. So we've known each other for almost 30 years now. And he is also a great philosopher and a coach for lifestyle changes. But today he is here to teach us about Elliott wave patterns and how to capitalize on it with big movements at the right time. And why is he, qualified to do this? He has been a trainer for investments and trading since many years. He has been doing this regularly from his setup, and he's also qualified. And now he is going to share with us the experience that he has had on how he has created wealth, not only for himself, but also by teaching others about Elliott wave pattern. So without wasting much time, I hand over the platform to Dr. Anil Singhvi to take us forward. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Purvesh sir. That was a very nice introduction, and I don't know whether I deserve all that, but welcome everybody. We'll talk today about a little bit in 2 minutes about my journey, how I got onto Elliott wave. If you were to look into the trading scenario everywhere, you will see a lot of people having all kinds of specializations, but Elliott wave is a little bit of a rarity. Why it is so? So I remember way back in 2007 when we were learning basic technical analysis on stocks, this thing, the teacher taught us all about RSI, taught us about MACD, about Fibonacci and everything he taught us, support resistance and everything. And but then there was a chapter on Elliott wave in the book, and he said, "Hey, just we'll not discuss about that." I said, "Why?" Because he said that's too tough for newbies, and just keep out of it. Now, tell me, if you tell a child to not see something, he will always want to know what the hell is there. Why I'm not supposed to learn all that. So I said, okay, we'll keep it in the back of the mind. And we went ahead and we made huge losses in the market. And everything was like a supreme tragedy. तो अब समझ में नहीं आया क्या करना है, तो वी वांटेड टू फाइंड द काइंड ऑफ होली ग्रेल. हाँ, तो ये पढ़ो, वो पढ़ो, ऐसा करो, वैसा करो. Everything we were trying to do. And then ultimately, I did learn a lot of other stuff, but I said, let me also find out Elliott wave. Started researching about it and found that it has got some value. And then I started to study it. And then I studied with the best in the world. By the way, I'll tell you a very humorous story about this. I went to a MTA meeting in Jaipur, where you are, sir. So MTA meeting was there in Jaipur, and there was this 2 or 3 people, and most of them are, I think one is the guy who is still this thing on CNBC, and there was another guy who was based in Dubai, and he's Indian, and he was a Elliott wave specialist. So he gave a 1 hour presentation on Elliott wave, and then he offered to teach us Elliott wave for 3 days. I said, yeah, sure. How much does it cost? And he said 3 lakhs. I said, wow, is it that useful that he can charge 3 lakhs for 3 days of tuition? I said, okay. I let him pass, but then I started to learn myself. That further sparked my curiosity about the whole thing. And then finally, obviously, after a few years, it takes a long time, I started to get the grasp of it, and then I started to apply it on my trading and investing, and found it was useful. So that is the basic this thing. And so let me tell you that I'm just not a Elliott wave one trick pony. To nahi hota hai. Market mein you want to know everything. Until unless you know everything, you cannot like you cannot just learn oncology and not know medicine and not know physiology and not know surgery and nothing. कि तो आप नहीं कर सकते. हाँ, you don't know the basics. तो basics तो सबको मालूम होना चाहिए. It's kind of a specialization in one aspect. That's all about it. So let me share my screen, and I'll just give you a brief overview We don't have much time, but I'll just give you a brief overview. You guys won't be an expert on Elliott wave after this presentation, but I can assure you, you will know what we do and how we do it, right? So let me share my screen. All right. Right. So what you can see it properly, the full screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Oh, thank you so much. So basically, the fundamental thing we have to understand, R. N. Elliott discovered this principle way back in 1930s or 20s, I think, 24 or something it was, that the financial markets are kind of patterned. They go ups and down in patterns, and the crowd behavior tends to go and reverse in recognizable patterns. And based on that, he propounded this theory, which then was known as the Elliott wave theory. So mankind's progress is not in a straight line, and it is also not random, it is not cyclical. Let me assure you, it is patterned. So you have growth everywhere in a pattern consisting of 5 waves up and 3 waves down. If you were to summarize Elliott wave in a short sentence, that is it. It has to be a 5 waves towards the growth and 3 waves opposite to growth. Or if the market is going down, it will go down 5 waves and 3 waves up. So in the direction of the trend, it will be like this. So this reflects the alternation of growth and non-growth. And this happens everywhere. If you were to plot your equity curve, you will find it like that. If you plot your moods, you will find it like that. You can also plot your wife's mood, but don't tell her that I told you so. Okay. So this is the basic structure of the Elliott wave, where you have an impulsive wave, which is 5 waves, and then a corrective wave, which is A, B, and C, which is a declining correction. So after the 5 waves are over, there will be 3 waves down. And what is the difference between impulse and a correction, or a motive wave and a correction? So these are the impulsive wave would be like chuck up, going up like anything. So the price action will not be overlapping from day to day. It will be like going very sharply higher. If you were to look at a clock face, it will be between midnight to 2 o'clock will be the direction up. But if it was corrective, it will be more choppy, more overlapping, and more sideways. So this is the two things. If you can just recognize an impulsive wave and a corrective wave, you are halfway there. It's so simple. Right? So now we come to some more details. Out of these 5 wave structures, you number them 1 to 5. So that is the main direction of the trend. Certain rules are there that wave 2 cannot go below the origin of wave 1. The wave 3 cannot be the shortest wave, normally the longest. And wave 4 cannot come into the territory of wave 1. So it is an impulse, so overlap nahi ho sakta, hai na? And once 5 waves are up and done, we can expect a correction. So actionary waves 1, 3, and 5. On this 5 wave structure, you have these actionary waves 1, 2, 1, 3, and 5. They are the motive waves, and wave 2 will be a correction, and wave 4 will be a correction, right? Then there are certain things which are also known as diagonal triangles. They are very interesting. We'll talk about them shortly. Now here you can see that how each of the waves can subdivide into their own fractal units. Because this is a motive wave, the 1, it will also be subdivided into 5. Similarly, wave 3 will be subdivided into 5, and wave 5 will be subdivided into 5. Right? So that is interesting. And that helps us to locate where we are in a wave progression. So this is the monthly chart of Nifty all the way from the 1999 low to 2007 highs. And you can see that this is a clear 5 wave structure, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. At that time, I had no knowledge about the wave principle. And therefore, here we were thinking at the top at 2007 that we are going to the moon. Well, we did not, right? So there was a correction. And this correction was actually a 3 wave correction which was labeled as wave 2, which brought Nifty down back to 6,000 levels. Sorry, I think it was 6,000 or something. So the thing is, was the ABC correction for wave 2, and usually the correction will at least take it to the previous fourth wave low. And where was the previous fourth wave low? Here, right here. So you can see that this fourth, can you see my pointer?
No, not really. We can't see
Oh,
your point.
oh yeah, I'll have to display settings में pointer enable करना होगा.
Yeah.
I don't know where you do it. Caption design. Anyway, forget it. So that was about it. And then we come to diagonal triangles. So diagonal triangles have a wedge kind of shape. I will show you one like this. Now, this is an interesting one because this can happen like in two situations. Either your whole waves will start with a diagonal triangle or they will end with a diagonal triangle. So the starting wave, if it is a diagonal triangle, we call it as a leading diagonal. Okay. Subdivisions, don't bother about it, but just understand that there will be converging trend lines and it will be a wedge shape. And this will be at the beginning of the move. Here you can see this. So this is a leading diagonal where you can see 5 waves and then it just crashes into wave 2. But because we understand that this is a leading diagonal, we are ready to buy somewhere around wherever wave 2 ends. Now this is a real-time chart of Bank Nifty. Now Bank Nifty, you can see, started off the move with a very nice leading diagonal, which is there on the left side of the chart. And then there was a wave 2, and then wave 3 just took off and never looked back. So this is a classical leading diagonal. The other classical thing which you have is an ending diagonal. The ending diagonal has a structure, the same structure, but it happens at the end of the waves. So it can be usually seen at the end of the fifth wave. And the end of the fifth wave or at the end of wave C in a correction. So these are structures which can give you amazing returns if you can understand and recognize them at the right time. And this is how it happens. That once the wave is done, it just crashes down to the beginning of the move within 1/3 of the time it took to go up. So let me give you some examples. This is an example of Bank Nifty 30-minute chart. So this was a corrective move in Bank Nifty, and I could identify this ending diagonal at wave C position. And it was at that time, I think I was a member of a WhatsApp group, and I put it out on the WhatsApp group that Bank Nifty does look very good and we should buy Bank Nifty with a stop loss just below the low, right on the right side. And the next day, it just took off. This was the ending diagonal, and the Bank Nifty took off like anything. Everybody was bearish when the diagonal was being formed, but I could see that this is an overlapping wave in the right position and right for an up move, right for an up move. So I'll give you another example. This is rather dramatic. Okay, this we identified much earlier, and this is Ranbaxy. And Ranbaxy was there, now Ranbaxy no longer exists. And here we have a 5-wave move from the bottom, which I have labeled as 1 or A. And then there is a 3-wave correction, a clear 3-wave correction, which I have labeled as 2 or B. And then there is this overlapping structure which is going up. Now, if you scratch your head, what is overlapping and what goes up like an impulse? It is a diagonal, isn't it? It has to be a diagonal. So then the light bulb went on and we could think that this is a ABC correction to the upside and the C wave is basically a ending diagonal. So this was the labeling on the chart at that time. You see wave A, wave B, and wave C is an ending diagonal. And you can see that normally the proportion is wave A is equal to wave C is the commonest proportion. Now that is where the rubber hits the road. Where do you look for corrections to end? Where waves A and C become equal. Now remember, wave A, B and C is counter trend. It is going to be fully reversed. अगर A, B, C ऊपर की तरफ जाएगा तो नीचे गिरना है, नीचे की तरफ जाएगा तो ऊपर जाएगा, जैसे अभी बैंक निफ्टी में देखा था. So this is what, and you can see I have marked 100% over there at $475. It went all the way to $472. I just measured the length of wave A and projected it from the bottom of wave B. So I put out a call on the same group that sell Ranbaxy at 440 and we'll put a stop loss at 480. And target is 330 because 330 is the beginning of wave C, that is the ending diagonal. Ending diagonal पूरा खत्म होना है, you know. So that was a bold call because this stock was going up. And I won't believe what happened the next day. Next day, there was a FDA action on Ranbaxy. All its plants were shut and it fell almost 25% on that day, 25%. And the target was achieved in just one day. So 120 points were gone from 470 odd. So this was the classic ending diagonal which was happening. If you look at the top plane, I have plotted RSI over there on the dark red. And you can see that as wave C was taking the price up, RSI was not going up. Now, this is a supportive evidence that there was no momentum in this and all the smart money was handing the stock to people who are willing to buy. So that confirmed my wave count and we had an amazing result on this one. So why do Elliott wave form? So there are some psychology which happens whenever there is the beginning of an impulse, like in 2009, when the impulse started. So there is a bottom. And at the bottom, there is a lot of pessimism. There is question of existence. There is a question of survival. There can be depression. There can be war. If it is a large degree bottom. If it is an intermediate degree bottom, it can be leading to because of recession, like at that time, panic, some limited wars, and minor degree bottoms are formed by bad news. So then gradually against the backdrop of pessimism, the prices start to rise. Nobody believes that rise. And then as wave one ends, there is some recognition that, okay, probably we will survive. So we start to heave a sigh of relief. But at that time, you get wave two. Wave two leads to, come on, yeah, not again, it's going back down again, right? So again, you think it is going to test the lows. Fundamental conditions are still bad. So wave one is not formed by fundamentals. Wave one is formed by smart money who knows something is getting inside. So underlying trend is still considered down when wave two is forming. But wave two, as you know, will not carry to a new low and then wave three takes off. Now, wave three is the dramatic wave. It's the very biggest wave. And the wave three was the wave we caught in 2014 elections. And that was a very rewarding time for all of us, because we could identify wave three at the beginning and we were just long with everything on that move. So best fundamentals, increased prosperity, and by the underlying trend, everybody believes that this is a bull market which is going to go all the time. And then wave four is because of some surprising disappointment, and that signals that the best part of growth phase has ended. And then wave five again takes off, but underlying strength is missing. You will see that there is overvaluation of everything in wave five, and then it crashes like anything, like it happened in 2008. So that is about the impulse waves. Similarly, corrective waves also have their own this thing, where it starts with the ending of wave five, where there is prosperity, peace, everything, but yeah, a lot of complacency. Wave A goes down. So everybody says it is a buying opportunity, buying opportunity, buying opportunity. You must have heard that. And then wave B takes off. And we go, हाँ अच्छा हुआ ना हमने buy कर लिया, बहुत अच्छा है. So wave B takes off. So everybody piles on more. But then wave C strikes. And wave C down is horrible. If it is a large degree, like in 2009, it really wipes out people like anything. So Fibonacci relationships are very important. So Fibonacci relationships are important because wave 3 is commonly 1.61 times wave 1. And then wave 3 is, if it's extended, then wave 1 is equal to wave 5. And in corrective waves, wave A plus is equal to wave C, not plus. It is wave A is equal to wave C. So let us have a look here. How do we use this data? So we have a chart here where we have, I think this was Adani Enterprises, I remember. So at that time, Adani Enterprises were trading around 100, 180 bucks. And you can see from the bottom, we could count 5 waves up, and the fifth wave was a ending diagonal, right? And then as the ending diagonal finished, wave 2 happened in A, B, and C, and it came all the way down here. Now, here you could see that wave C actually was 1.61 times wave A. Now, this is a different kind of correction, but we'll not go into those details. But once this thing was finished, we were looking for wave 3 to start, because this was a classical 5 wave कि हाँ trend change हो रहा है. And as the wave started to move up, we re-entered our long positions. Now, where is the wave going to end? Wave 3. So we measure the wave 1, and you can see on the top, the green line is 161%. And 161% was 130 bucks. Right from, I think, 90 bucks. It started around 90 here, and this is 130 bucks here. And it actually went all the way to 130, no time at all, and ended there. And then it made wave 4, and then wave 5 happened. So that is why how we can project some targets. अभी क्या होगा? Otherwise, what you will do is you will buy it maybe at 100. बोला ठीक है 100 हो गया ना, 120 में बेच देते हैं. Especially if you are doing futures and options. अरे 120, 20 bucks मिल गया, 20%. Why? Just run. But you left all the 80% money on the table there, because it's going to go to 180 or wherever. So that is the problem here. So if you know Elliott, then this is what is going to keep you on the trend for a very long time. So why Elliott? Why do we need Elliott? So this is a flying route in the US before there were any compasses or any maps. So planes used to go from east coast to west coast by following the river. You river ko follow karo, you will reach there. But now they have their own navigation and compass. So that is what is important, that the Elliott wave gives you a way, a kind of a map of the territory of the market. So that is which it does, which nothing else can do. So, 90 to 95% traders lose money in the markets. So you have to do things differently. The Elliott wave principle allows you to anticipate the events in the market, and it gives you context for market action. कि अभी it has completed a 3-wave move, so it is going to go up. Where is it going to go up? Going to all the way where the 3-wave move began. It could be very far, but it's probably going there. So we have that context. It gives you a 3D kind of view of the market. It allows you to stay with the trend, and also tells you precisely where you're wrong. Like, wave 2 should not go below wave 1. So wave 1 ke niche, you're wrong. So you are not going to stay in the position if it goes below wave 1. तो ये exact positions भी मालूम पड़ जाती है. So how do you use this? So this is your classical Elliott wave structure, which the pointer worked. So what you do is you buy at the end of wave 2, once wave 3 begins. You can again buy at the end of wave 4, where wave 4 has ended for wave 5. Similarly, in the downside, you can buy when the one B is over for the wave C. These are the things which are commonly we use to have profitable trades. So I'll give you another example here. Now, this is another of our old friend Adani Enterprises weekly chart. Now, weekly chart mein Adani Enterprises has fallen all the way to 150 bucks from 800 bucks. तो अभी कोई भी बोलेगा कि इसको खरीदने का, बोले नहीं नहीं तौबा तौबा, इसको हाथ नहीं लगाना. हाँ, ये 800 से तो पूरा गिर गया है. तो बट you can see that this price action on the right side is still higher than the low which has been made on the left side in February 2009. And then the move from February 2009 to the upside looks pretty impulsive to me. So whatever was happening after that was kind of choppy, and it was kind of corrective. So I labeled it as WXY, which is a form of corrective wave, where you can see that at the end where I have labeled Y, you can see that there is a bullish divergence on RSI. RSI is continuously showing a bullish divergence. That is something which gives away the game. This stock is not going to go further much. So we have to look to buy. कहाँ buy करेंगे? So this is where it made a bottom around 150 and then it took off. And once it took off and took off the wave B high on the left side, we started to go long on it. This correction is over and now we are going to go up. Now this is the weekly chart, and as you can see, RSI is now going up like anything. And this is what happened. So this is the, I think, the daily chart. And the daily chart you can see कि वो जो उसने low बनाया Y पे, उसके बाद it never looked back and went up so fast there is no tomorrow. It went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this was a classical impulse. Aha, so that's good. So we thought, okay, now this whole correction is over and the stock is entering a new uptrend. Where do you get in? If you're not bought in this wave, you wait for wave 2, and the wave 2 comes down. And once the wave 2 comes down, you see it comes down to the previous fourth wave. And once it comes to the previous fourth wave on the left side, we are ready to buy, but we will wait for a trigger. So then what happens? This is the daily chart. And you can see the trigger happens when we get big bullish bars after wave 2 is finished. So those bullish bars on the right, exactly on the right side of the chart, are an indication that this wave 2 is done. तो आप देख रहे हो कि किस तरह से wave 1 is pretty sharp and going up, wave 2 is choppy, overlapping bars. So correction, impulse, and then it just takes off. And so we buy here again. Now what are our targets? I just told you. So you have wave 1 and you measure from the bottom of wave 2 to 100% and 161%. Ideal target for wave 3 is 161%. So 161% comes to $470. And the stock is at 245. Think about the risk reward here. Our stop loss is way below wave 2 ka low pe, and our target is way up there. So what do? We just buy and hope for the best. Let's see. So this is what happens after that. It goes and makes a high of $470 exactly. And you can see it went there in 2 months, less than 2 months. So it actually doubled in price in 1.5 to 2 months. And if you are holding a future and option position, you can very well imagine the profits. Then it made a small wave 4 and then wave 5 went up further. So this is how things can happen if you can look for them. After it made a wave 5 high, then it went into a sideways consolidation. So this was another corrective move happening. So what happened is this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of wave 3. So wave 4 is happening and now wave 5 will go up again. And this is what happened. So wave 4 was made, then wave 4 kind of went sideways, and then wave 5 took the chart all the way to $730. So we were following this chart all the way from 240 at least. I was following from much before, but at least very seriously at 240 all the way to 730. So I'm not saying that we are buying it all the time, but we knew that is the direction or that is the general target what we are trying to achieve. If you buy it in cash as an investment, very good, no problems. So now at the end, I'll give you some examples. You can see this is a quarterly chart of a stock. So how many waves can you count on this? I think you can clearly see that there are 5 waves, right? So what we will do now is to show you the fractal nature of the market. We will take the 5th wave, the last quarterly 5th wave, and break it into monthly. And this is the monthly of the last quarter. And here again, we see that it is broadly going into 5 waves. So what we'll do is the monthly ka jo 5th wave hai, we'll take that part of the price action on the right side and see the weekly chart of that. So this is the weekly chart. And this is also pretty much 5 waves. And then on the weekly chart, we take the right side weekly, which is 5 waves, and then we can blow it up into the daily. right? Just the right part, okay? And this is a daily chart. And you can see very nicely 5 waves. So you can see nesting, quarterly 5 बन गया, उसी के अंदर जो फिफ्थ वाला उसके भी 5 बन गए, मंथली में 5, मंथली के भी 5 बन गए, वीकली में है, उसके डेली भी 5 बन गए. So this is how nature is so accurate. Now the fun starts that we take the fifth wave of the daily and break it down into the intraday time frame. Now this is the 5-minute chart. Classical 5 waves. And this actually we traded because at that time we were glued to the computer and we traded that. Once we had this one, you can see a arrow point here with a buy at 1644, a stop loss of 1620, the wave 2 low, 1.6 times wave 1 was 1732. So that was the target and that was achieved pretty fast in 2 days, right? So we went from 1644 to 1732 in 2 days and target was hit. And then obviously it completed the fifth wave. So this is 5 waves in quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily, and now 5-minute. After all these are over, what will the stock do? Done. It has to come down. Cannot go any further. And this is the chart of ACC. And it never made this high again at that time, and it just fell down like anything. This is pretty old chart, but it just crashed down all the way to 1000 levels. So Elliott wave patterns are just setups, let me tell you. We need a trigger to take action. So the triggers can be anything. I have developed my own triggers, which I use. But generally, you can use a trend line, you can use a channel breakout or something. I'll show you some examples. Now, this is Aarti Industry. This is a recent trade, what we did. So Aarti Industries went up all the way in 2013 from like 30 bucks or 40 bucks to 1200 bucks in 2022, 21. Now, these are the kind of stocks which interest me a lot. क्यों? क्योंकि ये लड़का पढ़ाई करता है, ये लड़का नंबर लाता है, ये लड़का चलता है, प्रोग्रेस करता है. तो ये जो अच्छे लड़के हैं, इनको अपने को कब पकड़ना है? जब ये वापस चलने को तैयार हो जाए. एंड दैट इज व्हाट इज इंटरेस्टिंग कि अगर आपके पास ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड है कि द स्टॉक इज गोइंग टू गो वेल, यू वॉच दैट लाइक अ हॉक. And what we did is we watched this decline on the right side very closely. And how many waves can you count there? You can see this is overlapping choppy action and there is a 3-wave fall. Classical fall 3-wave. So this is how we labeled it. That this was an impulse and then the fall was A, B and C. And the C wave almost made an ending diagonal kind of thing with a 61% retracement at 459 bucks. From 1200 bucks, it fell to 459, which is a 61% retracement. That is the commonest retracement of wave 2. So that we knew. So once we knew that, we were pretty confident that something is going to happen here. So let us keep a watch. We didn't buy it right away, but we kept a watch. So this is the weekly chart, and this is the chart what we did. So once this ending diagonal was broken to the upside, that trend line was broken, we bought at 516 rupees. When? I think in November or December. It was December, I think. And November or December of this year, 23. And it's already gone up by 31%. Actually, in cash, I bought much earlier, I must confess. I bought it around 499 or something. Cash में तो मेरे को problem नहीं था. But I bought options on it once it crossed 516. And there's a 31% open profit. It's already there. So that is how things can happen. But what next? So whatever is happening now is the first part of the impulse. So remember that this whole impulse, the whole decline, the next impulse will go to take it to newer highs. I mean, that is our default. We don't know whether it's going to happen, but that's our default. So we know that someday it will cross 1200 bucks. So I'm not selling my cash until it does that, right? And if it does that, it will double my more than double my investment. So for investment purposes, this is perfect. But for trading purposes also, what we will do is we will watch for a decline in wave 2 and we will get back in on wave 3, and that will be something to watch. Now, this is another one which we bought recently, Pokarna Granites. I didn't know this what this company does. I just found this chart. Look at it, same thing. अच्छा लड़का अच्छा पढ़ता है, पूरा ऊपर चला गया. हाँ, फिर 3 waves में डिक्लाइन. Now 3 waves में जब डिक्लाइन करता है तो it always remains in a parallel channel, just like that one. So it remains in a parallel channel, and when it reverses, you watch. Whenever there is a C wave reversing from the mid channel, that is very bullish. I mean, there is no selling pressure to take it to the lower channel. So ये mid channel से reverse हुआ है, and then we were watching for this channel to break to the upside, and at 350 it did that, and we bought this. So we bought this at the 390 or something, and that was again in third quarter of 2023. Look what happened after that. This is the price action after that. So it has went all the way to $600. We get a 60% return in 6 months, and is now consolidating. So this is the same thing exactly. You'll see carbon copy. We'll probably watch it. If it can do $1,000 to for us, it's good. Otherwise, we'll trade our stop losses on our investment positions. Finally, the last chart. So this is BHEL. सब लोग इसकी अभी आजकल तारीफ करते हैं. BHEL कितना अच्छा चल रहा है, कितना अच्छा चल रहा है. Now look at this chart, monthly chart, where what happened to it? To 2008 highs, it went up like a rocket. Again, good student. Now what do? We watch what it does after that. After that, it goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down. So all choppy action. And then it made a low, but the low was higher than the previous low. So we understood that this is basically a corrective structure which was developing on the monthly time frame. See, the time frame is very long. And this is what we did here. This is actually not daily, sorry. And it is still monthly. So we labeled it as WXY, which is still a corrective move, with the understanding that this is ripe to go up. But you see here that it makes a very small, just after the label of Y or number 2, you can count 5 waves up. That was the first indication that something which is changing in this one. And then it came down again, and we bought at cash at $70. $70 में हमने cash पे लिया कि ठीक है, it's likely to do very well. And this is what happened after that. So now it's reached $229. So that cash position had done very well. And then we also bought it in options. And so nice trade, good. But question ये उठता है, what happens? Suppose you miss the bus, you couldn't get in at 70. Where do you get in? So the Elliott wave principle gives you certain modalities to get in again. How? So see this, from 70 it took off, then it corrected, and this correction was again ABC in 3 waves. Again a parallel channel to the downside, small one, on the daily chart. So once it does that, breaks out of the channel, buy again, then again goes up, goes to 150. 150 again goes down in 3 waves. Now 3 waves are what? Counter trend. They are corrections. Wait for it to cross through the parallel channel, and then you are again off to the races. So you can also utilize these corrections in the middle to re-enter positions. So the key takeaways, you have to understand that Elliott wave principle is a significant enhancement in all our technical work. And we use it to gain a perspective of price action. You can combine it with proper triggers, and then it becomes very powerful. Because if you buy it prematurely, it's going to be difficult to handle. But the proper interpretation takes a lot of practice, and practice is important. So I think that ends this presentation. I am open for all questions or comments.
Oh, thank you very much, Anil. That was absolutely amazing. I think you must have become already have become multiple crore-patis by now.
No. We're still a learning process. Let me first tell you that everything is not a bed of roses.
Of course.
Yeah.
But at least if we follow what you are learning and learn from you, then our task will also become easier, especially the price action. Now, may I introduce again my colleague in this series of webinars, and that is Dr. Srishti Jain. She is we work in the same institute, Mahatma Gandhi Medical College Hospital, but she manages all my sick patients because she is an intensivist. And many of my patients are alive and well only because of her skillful management during the acute care requirements. Today she is here because she is an expert in wealth creation and investment. And I pass on to her so that she can continue the dialogue with Anil and also take any questions that are coming from the audience. Over to you, Srishti.
Thank you so much, sir, for inviting for this wonderful webinar. Thank you so much, Anil, sir. It was really a mind-boggling presentation, and you have invested a lot of time and a lot of love in making that presentation. I could sense the passion that you have for Elliott waves. I would like to ask a couple of questions, sir. Sir, you can choose the sequence in which to answer. Number one, it would be really kind, sir, if on TradingView, you can show like where are we currently, as per
Yeah.
the Elliott waves, where are we currently in Nifty and Bank Nifty? That would be
Yes.
really helpful, sir.
Yes.
And my second question to you is that how do you identify that Elliott waves are, sometimes they can fail? Like what are the pitfalls? Like how sensitive it is, how specific is it? Like we are students of science, so trying to converse in that language.
Right.
And like, yeah, what is the positive predictive value? So how do you realize and come to know ki, okay, right now here Elliott waves are not working, and I need to count on my different card from my armamentarium of knowledge of
Yes,
technical
yes,
analysis.
perfect. So this is a very important question, that when does it fail? So that is something you have to learn, that nothing is perfect in technical analysis. Everything has its own kind of failure rate, number one. Number two, Elliott waves are something like a language. You have to read the language of the chart. You can see that none of the charts I had any indicators, no indicators, the blank chart. It's just price. And you look at the price और बोलो ये सुंदर है और ये सुंदर नहीं है. तो ये सुंदरता कहाँ से आती है? तो ये हमारे परसेप्शन से आती है कि हमने क्या परसीव किया है उसमें. So the same chart can be interpreted by two different varieties by two different people. So that's perfect, but you have to understand where you are going wrong. If you think that it is a duck, it has to walk like a duck and swim like a duck. If it's not like walking like a duck or swimming like a duck, it is not a duck. So your moment आपने देख लिया, say, okay, sorry, it is not a duck, my perception was wrong. Similarly, here also you have to be very, very careful with this. What I have done is, I mean, there's no enough time here, but I have amalgamated other methods to confirm my Elliott wave direction. So I have certain methods now to right away tell whether the trend is up, down, or sideways. So 2 minutes में पता चल जाता है. Everybody has their own, but I have something which works for me. It picks up institutional price action pretty fast. So if I see that this price action is good, that is a totally different system, but that has also worked. So कई बार I just, especially when I just do a swing trade for 3-4 days, I don't look at Elliott wave. I look at the big picture, but I don't look at Elliott wave then. I don't look at Elliott wave on the smaller time frame, because the smaller time frame mein things are difficult to understand. And then I use that system, but I go in the same direction where the Elliott wave count is showing. And this is also showing the same direction. So those are the things. So there are a lot of fine points over there, but you have to have marked out places where your count is wrong. You know, if it has to, like if you see Bank Nifty, let me show you this thing, what
Yeah, I
happened.
think that would be nice if you could share, sir.
Yeah. So, but I was looking to hear your presentation. So let me, I don't know, let me first start TradingView. So I'll not take too much time. I'll just show you a couple of things, and then I'll show you Nifty, and then we'll discuss this again later on. Okay, where we are.
Well, Anil is pulling out that, Srishti, there are some two
Yes.
questions.
Yeah.
that
I could
you
read.
can
I
also
think
ask him those questions.
Dr. Dheeraj Bhavna has asked a question that, sir, for the beginner, the best time frame to practice Elliott waves?
Daily, 100%.
Daily.
Daily.
Okay.
Because daily has
And
got enough price action and pretty interesting.
and how to differentiate between flat correction and wave high and new impulse wave?
Oh,
If
that
both
is
cuts the
something very
previous high.
technical. It's a bit difficult to explain over here without a chart. But that is if you know a little bit about it, then we'll have to discuss this on the live chart and tell you about what is a flat correction and what is this. So this, I
Right.
think the audience was more basic, so I did not go all that in detail.
Right.
Where
Right.
do yeah, okay, close this.
And Mr. Rajesh has a question that any idea to ride IRIDA again, when and at what price?
Oh, that have to check it out, you know.
Yeah. I think what we can do is in the live, like your setup, we can see that what's your view about Nifty and Bank Nifty, and if time permits, then IRIDA.
Yeah, I can have a look at AREDA, not a problem. Okay, one moment. Let me see Bank Nifty. किधर है? This is Bank Nifty.
We are not able to see your screen.
Can you
sir.
see my screen?
No, sir, no.
Okay, I think one moment. I have multiple monitors, that's why it always becomes a
Yeah.
little bit issues. Can you see now?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay. Go on super charts. Okay. So this all is a clean it up basically. So Bank Nifty is an uptrend. This is a weekly chart, very
Yes.
easy to see. And so I'll have to clean this up.
And how do we identify the waves here in
Yeah,
Bank
so see
Nifty
from the
and
bottom here,
Nifty?
from the bottom
Yes,
here,
sir.
you can clearly count 5 waves. I mean, a child can do it, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then a 2 wave, then another this thing, another one. So from here is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? And then there is a 3 wave correction. Perfect. अभी ये देखिए आप, ये यहाँ पे जो है, from this top here, you take a parallel channel, right? वही जो मैं दिखा रहा था आपको, ये चैनल हमने बना दी, right? And this is your wave, corrective wave. अब corrective wave जहाँ कहाँ finish होगी when this parallel channel is broken to the upside. But if you look at it any time, somewhere in the middle of the channel, you know that the Bank Nifty is not going to go down, because the Bank Nifty is in overlapping. So it is a corrective wave. It is not going to go down like anything. अगर ये नीचे की चैनल को ब्रेक करता तो हम बोलते नहीं, मार्केट खराब हो गया है. बट कितना भी नॉइज हो, ये लगता है ना कि ये चीज जो है करेक्टिव है, या अल्टीमेटली ऊपर ही जाएगी. You wait patiently, as well as broke through the channel, you're up again, and you're going up. Nice. It's just going up in impulsively correcting, going up, correcting, going up, and then again correcting.
And what about the monthly time frame, sir?
Monthly Nifty का देखते हैं, ज़्यादा interesting है.
Right, sir.
There's too many measurements here.
I think I have to send some water for Anil.
Yeah, I think I'll have to get some. Yeah, water is right here. Thank you, sir. So this is beautiful.
Right.
So monthly की जगह weekly करो तो अच्छा दिखेगा. Okay, so see this. This was the COVID low here. April 20, March 20. Okay, this was the COVID low. So what happened here? So this was a clear impulse, and then this corrected here. The correction कैसा था? This was actually a flat correction. This flat correction probably started here. Sorry, here. Here. This was A, B, and C. Expanded flat correction में C wave जो बहुत sharp होता है. But that is what it was. What gave away that this is a flat correction? इसका क्या telltale sign क्या था? For that gentleman who asked that question about the correction. See, this move from here to here was 3. It was not 5. So any market which is going up in 3 waves and topping out there is doing a flat. That is what we tell you. ये जो है ये फ्लैट बना रहा है और उसके बाद ये गिरा है, मतलब कि ये फ्लैट का ही पार्ट है, और ये एक बार फ्लैट का पार्ट खत्म होगा तो न्यू इंपल्स विल स्टार्ट, एंड दैट इज व्हाट हैपेंड. So this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clear cut 5 waves here. So what we can do is we can label this here as wave 1 here. And then this is a small kind of a 2. Let us label this there, 2.
Yeah, I
This is
think
how you
labeling is
start.
really helping.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, your eyes see what your mind knows, and probably Elliott waves is something which we shy off.
Yeah, अब 2 के बाद उसने चालू कर दिया है. अब आप बताओ कि वेव 1 अगर ये है और वेव 2 ये है तो क्या आएगा इसके बाद? 3.
Yes.
2 के बाद में 2.5 तो आएगा नहीं. हाँ, 2 के बाद में 0.5 तो नहीं आएगा, 3 आएगा. So on the longer time frame, we are in a large degree third wave.
Mm-hmm.
That is why no matter what everybody said, I said the market is going up only. मैंने पूरी सर को ही बताया कि चिंता नहीं करो, मार्केट ऊपर ही जाना है. So this is a very long duration third wave which is happening, और वो third wave चल रही है. And it is behaving like a third wave only. If you look at all the mid caps and small caps which are behaving like crazy. So what is the characteristic of third wave? Third wave will always give you broad breadth. The breadth will be maximum in third waves, and the breadth will be narrower in wave 5. So that is what happened. Right. Now, if you look at here, you can basically see that this is one wave here, and this is second, this is one, this second. So it's stair stepping up pretty nicely. तो अब इसके हम जिगल्स विगल्स में नहीं घुसेंगे कि क्या कर रहा है. दैट इज समथिंग फॉर अनदर टाइम. बट व्हाट यू कैन सी हियर इज फ्रॉम दिस बॉटम हियर ऑफ March 23 went up, then again 3-wave correction. This is a flat, and then it once up and went up very nicely, very impulsively the whole of last year. From November only, sorry, from the November only it went up pretty fast. Then it came down. Again it came down in 3 waves. ये हमने पकड़ लिया था अच्छे से. You can see, let me enlarge it. This is a 3-wave move, which is a parallel channel में डला हुआ है already. And I was ready to buy once it breaks through this. So it breaks through here, then there's another 3-wave move here, and then it goes up and is doing something here, which I don't know what is this. Basically, अभी पता नहीं चलेगा जब तक ये clarify नहीं होगा. But if you look at it on a kind of a hourly time frame for this one, again looks like corrective kind of a structure. कि यहाँ से यहाँ अगर ये करें ये ABC बन गया है. Now again sorry to go into very details, but ऐसा का स्ट्रक्चर इसने पहले एक बार डेली चार्ट में बनाया हुआ है. फ्रैक्टल होता है बाजार. वो जो पहले करता है वो फिर करता है. तो यहाँ पे देखो ये जो स्ट्रक्चर है ना, ये कहाँ गया? लेट मी पुट समथिंग ड्राइंग टूल हियर. सो okay, let's use this brush. So this structure here is actually, if you look at it now, and then I'll shift to hourly and you show what happens here. I'll go back hourly. So it makes a new high, then comes down in 3 waves, right? And we go to hourly. See, makes a new high, comes down in 3 waves. तो ये hourly में है, वो daily में था. But the structure is the same. तो उसकी जो तासीर है वो वही चीज है. It does the same thing over here. So if you have to push me कि क्या हो रहा है, I would probably go that this is happening, but my conviction कि इसमें बहुत सारा पैसा लगाने वाला नहीं, until this proves. So it could go back down tomorrow because March as such seasonally weak होता है. We know that. So based on that, I would be pretty much neutral over here on Nifty for what is going to do in the next 15 days, 20 days. But if you ask me what's going to do in the next 6 months, I'm pretty much okay. Nifty is going to go up only.
Right. Thank you so much, sir. And let me see, there are
कौन
few
सा
more
स्टॉक बोला था उन्होंने?
questions.
IRDA क्या बोला था?
IREDA, sir. IREDA. It was an IPO of the season.
Okay.
Also, there's a question: is 3-wave up move a triangle or not?
A triangle has 3 waves only. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. I didn't go into that in my presentation, but 3, 3, 3, 3. Now this is a very interesting chart. It ज़्यादा data नहीं है, but clearly you can see that this is an impulse to the upside. This is the impulse to the upside, where you have a 1, this is a 2, this is a 3. Now this is coming down in 4. So where it is going to come down in 4, let us put some Fibonacci relationships. So common retracement for wave 4 is 0.38 times wave 3. So this is actually deeper, right? But it can go to 0.61, but it cannot go beyond 0.61. So if I were going to go long, I would probably keep this gap as my stop loss. इस gap के नीचे नहीं close होना चाहिए. Gap theory is another amazing theory. वो अलग बात है, बात करेंगे. But actually it came down all the way because it had so many gaps. So gaps attract price action like a magnet. And the price always will find some other excuse to close all those gaps. And almost most of those gaps are closed. Only one gap is left. This is the gap.
Right.
So if I were him, I would probably put a buy order here with a stop loss below this bar.
Right.
And if it works out, it will go to all-time new highs, 220.
Right. Right.
But the thing to go is, you again do the same thing over and over again. You make your parallel channel.
And he's also
See a
asking
center line
about
reversal. Center line reversal is happening. It breaks through this channel.
Right.
We're good to go.
And sir, Asian Paints, could you please pull up Asian Paints
Asian
chart as well?
That's a pain.
He's saying that is it bearish and can we identify on a weekly time frame, or rather like has it completed its wave 5? What about Asian Paints in long term?
I know Asian is a pain. Totally, I understand that. So let us see that.
Let's see the monthly, weekly.
So क्या हो रहा है Asian में? You can see that there was a long uptrend on weekly. और उसके बाद chart has gone just sideways. So that is what it is doing. Now, if you were look at very carefully, you can probably identify that this is a triangle which is being formed. So you have to be very patient with this. Oh, sorry. Oh, यहाँ कैसे आ गया? Something like this, right? So, mota moti तौर पे triangle है. It can go all the way here. It still be a triangle. So, but it looks like a triangle to me, which has got how many waves now? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this triangle is pretty much mature. So we will probably want to see what it does. अभी कुछ trade नहीं करना है. Don't try to preempt it, but go back to your kind of daily time frame and see what is happening over there. On the daily time frame, it is still very bearish. But again, not much of thing is going to happen if you are trying to short it also. So because all these places there are big supports. ठीक है, कुछ नहीं करना है.
And another good question which sir has asked, that could we have predicted about the PATM's fall applying the Elliott waves?
Could it
have been possible?
That is interesting.
And also the HDFC Bank, could it have been possible that we could have predicted the HDFC Bank fall?
Actually, yeah. Actually, वो predicted तो नहीं हुआ, लेकिन जब fall हुआ तो wave count बन गया उसका बड़ा. ये जरूर.
That brings up another question, sir, कि Elliott waves का prospective और retrospective. Like retrospect में waves mark करना क्या आसान होता है और prospectively.
Obviously, I mean the right side of the
prospectively
chart.
बड़ा मुश्किल होता है कि उसके basis पे trade ले पाना कितना risky है और आप कितना frequently ले पाते हो.
Risk is always there, but you have to see that your risk is definable, and risk is one thing which you can take. Then, and if it is definable and it is within the risk parameter, the risk reward is good, so you are good to go.
Right, sir.
So PTM में problem क्या होता है? ये जो fall था ना, ये fall था यहाँ तक. Then this was certainly a move which was not impulsive. You can see this, and probably this was a expanded flat. क्योंकि कहीं पर भी इसने बुलिश टेंडेंसीज दिखाई नहीं है, मतलब फॉलो थ्रू नहीं दिखाया है. बुलिश फॉलो थ्रू जब होता है ना, तो यू गेट बार्स आउट ऑफ दिस चैनल. दिस इज माय अनदर सिस्टम व्हिच आई फॉलो. दिस इज अ डिफरेंट चैनल, बट अगर जब बुलिश होगा ना तो फॉल्स आउट ऑफ दिस, लाइक जहाँ पे ये गिर रहा है इम्पल्सिवली, ऑल द बार्स आर आउट ऑफ दिस चैनल. Now if it was impulsively going up, it would have some more bars here. It didn't have any of those. Let's look at it in daily. Yeah, daily is clearly a corrective move.
Right, sir.
Corrective move को तो नीचे जाना ही था.
और ये करेक्शन कहाँ पर खत्म होगा सर? हम कुछ प्रेडिक्ट कर सकते हैं?
Cannot say because we don't have enough data.
Right,
See,
sir.
there is no data before this.
डेटा नहीं है हमारे पास. IPO के बाद का ही डेटा है जो भी है.
डेटा नहीं है तो theoretically it can go.
सर HDFC बैंक में क्या हम प्रेडिक्ट कर सकते थे।
Yeah, our radiation oncology colleague Dr. Shankar
आई थिंक
Vangipuram
जब
has asked
रिवर्सल
that.
आएगा तो शायद
HDFC Bank, I am having a bullish bias on this,
Yeah.
but again, I am not very sure where. But this looks like a pretty good flat correction to me, where you have a double top here and then this fall. So this looks like a flat correction. Flat correction होता है तो it can go all the way to 1.6 times. So वो तो 1248 तक चला जाता है. तो जहाँ पे भी finish होगा, then it will go to newer highs. 100% है ये. So because this flat correction will be like the last one. Let us look at the weeklies.
So you think that one can take a stop loss and buy HDFC Bank for
I think on
long-term
cash you can
perspective,
certainly
like,
buy, but
on
don't have
cash, yeah, on
trading
cash,
positions मत रखो. I think ultimately यही stop loss रहेगा आपका.
1200,
Hmm.
1281 है ना? Right.
Because this is a classical impulse. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this whole thing is a correction. And if
And
this
this
whole thing is a
brings
correction,
another
this
very
can be a
interesting
flat and it can come all the
realization.
way here.
Right,
Good.
sir. And I really appreciate, like, this also brings the realization to all of us that whatever system we follow, we have to keep a stop loss. We can't have our blind faith on any of these systems. We need to cut our
Yeah.
losses early.
Quite true. Quite true.
And Dheeraj sir has another question that triangle and flat both come in three-way manner. Is there way to differentiate if possible?
Again, that is a different matter. It will take a lot of
Different thing,
explaining.
yeah.
हाँ वो तो फिर कभी one-on-one ही
I
बैठ के
think
बात करेंगे.
Dheeraj sir can take one of your live sessions sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
So sir, coming back to HDFC Bank, Shankar sir is also asking, like, could we have predicted? I think my question is, like, could we have predicted this move of HDFC Bank? Could we have come in cash pretty much earlier, like in 2021, where it made its first stop? Would it have been possible? If you look up the monthly chart or lifelong chart or quarterly chart of
नहीं
HDFC
नहीं
Bank.
वो predict नहीं हो रहा है because this see in corrective waves you cannot predict what form it will take. Impulsive का है अभी corrective है यहाँ से corrective है यहाँ से then it corrects here it can take off and become a new impulse. It was pretty strong here. So none of us could actually foresee कि ये इतना crash होगा. But obviously if your stop losses तो कहीं ना कहीं रहेंगी.
सही बात है सर. True. And I think another one interesting chart is of Bandhan Bank. So क्या हम उसमें भी क्या हम कुछ predict कर सकते थे?
Oh yeah, sure. It's a very nice question.
Right, sir.
See, this was an impulsive fall, ठीक है?
Right, sir.
इसमें कोई डाउट नहीं. ये क्या होता है? करेक्टिव है कि impulsive है?
Correct, sir.
Everybody can see this is a corrective move. Overlapping. हाँ, अब क्या करेंगे हम? यहाँ पे हम चैनल बनाएंगे.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, very nice.
Anything which stays in a channel is corrective. Anything which stays in a channel or is corrective is counter trend.
Right.
So the trend was established by the fall over
और
here.
एक पॉलीकैप का भी देखिएगा सर.
हाँ, यहाँ पे ट्रेंड एस्टेब्लिश हो गया, एक करेक्टिव देन अनदर इंपल्स, और उसके बाद में फिर ये करेक्टिव, फिर ये धीरे धीरे फिर नीचे जा रहा है. तो ऑल मेस, इट इज अ बिग मेस. Polycab.
Yeah, like many people are stuck in AU Bank, Bandhan Bank, Polycab now. Like after Polycab was an IPO stock. So I follow one simple principle for my long-term investing, which of course I'm a novice. It's 30 weeks moving average of Stan Weinstein. So if a stock has given us a long up move for a very, very long time and it breaks 30 weeks MA with sharp downfalls, it would be better to come on the sides and book your profits and then wait till we see the completion of stage 4 and then enter.
But don't you think 30 weeks would give out a lot of profits?
Yes, it would. You would wait a pretty long time, especially if there has been a climax move on the top, and then you would actually give back a lot of stuff back to the market.
Yeah.
True.
Here something is interesting. I just saw this. So this
Hmm.
is wave 1, wave 2, this is wave 3, wave 4, and this is wave 5. And what is happening at the end of wave 5? You can see this. This is a,
Yeah. So could we have identified wave 5 in polygraph, sir?
yes, you can. This
Yeah.
is basically something like a ending diagonal only.
Right. And now we are into the corrective downtrend phases of the
हाँ.
waves. Like जहां पर लगेगा कि हाँ चलो अब सब ठीक है, but अब एक फिर sharp correction.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And you see my system, it identified this top here.
Yes.
अभी
Yes.
I,
और अब फिर दोबारा बेचने का टाइम इसमें आ
I
गया है.
actually went long over here, and
Hmm.
I booked my profit over here yesterday only.
Yes.
So
तो
so
possible है अब एक दोबारा एक डाउन मूव इसमें.
it can be. I mean, you
Hmm.
cannot say कि ये down जाएगा कि नहीं, but you have to have confirmation because
Yes.
this if you look at it in daily chart, तो daily chart में क्या है ये 3 wave है.
Hmm.
और ये इस गैप को पूरा भरा है इसने,
Right, sir.
तो वो गैप भरने गया.
गैप भरने के लिए ऊपर
Now
गया.
we just stand back and see what does it do after it fills the gap. If it
Right.
continues to go up further, then probably it is done and it's going to go up only. And if
So
it
we can
crashes
we can
from
put a
there,
trail and we can trail our stop losses in that ways. Like if we have entered
yes.
pretty early. So how much percentage of stop loss would you trail, sir?
No, it depends
Generally.
on the count and it depends on the position on the chart. If
Right.
so, there is no fixed percentage or anything. सीधी सी बात ये है कि suppose you are going short here, तो आपका
हाँ.
ये गैप के ऊपर का जो बार है, ये वाला बार है, this will be my stop loss.
Got it.
So this will be my stop loss. So depends on where you are, what is your trading hypothesis, कि
Right.
what is your structure you are betting on.
Right.
Right now it is neither a short nor a long, but
Right.
we will watch and see what
And
happens.
could we have predicted wave 5 and DMart, sir?
DMart, okay.
Yeah. I'm really glad that we have so many questions coming up. That shows that everyone is so interested and keen to learn. So thank you so much, Dheeraj sir, for pulling up so many questions because that's what actually makes it interactive and
Yeah.
we get to learn. जो
Yeah.
हमारा दुख रहता है.
The
Bandhan
DMart,
Bank is pain point of so many
So-
of us.
okay, now you see this. This is again very interesting. Now go to the weekly chart. Weekly chart में
Wow.
DMart again amazing uptrend, हाँ.
Wave 5
इसमें
वाला
हम भी
है
फंसे
क्या?
हैं, इसमें हमने भी इस अपट्रेंड में लगा कि ये 3 वेव हो गया, ये जो भी है, यहाँ पे बाई किया था, बट देन इट फेल अगेन. बट ऑन रेट्रोस्पेक्ट इफ यू लुक, दिस वाज नॉट इनफ टू कंसोलिडेट ऑल दिस मूव. इट नीड मोर टाइम इट रिक्वायर्ड. So this
Yeah.
looks like a triangle to me. I mean, to be very frank, this looks like a triangle, and उससे देखते हैं फिर क्या होता है. But now I think there's enough time has passed, and it should show its hand very soon कि क्या करेगा.
And do you have any screener of yours, sir, कि जहाँ पर आपका एक आपका automated screen है like charting का, जहाँ पर आपके principles से आपको एक set of stocks मिल जाए जिनमें आप entry का time सही है?
I have a screener for my other system जो ये moving average channel system है जिसमें कि breakouts मिलते हैं. तो
Right,
उसका
sir.
है which I can run on NSE BSE stocks.
Right,
that runs on Metastock. So वो है, मैंने लिया हुआ है, but otherwise I have no screener.
Right,
F&O
right.
stocks I see all of them manually. So वो 200 के 200 chart I certainly look at on the weekends and see if anything is developing over there. And,
Right. So we can say, sir, that it's not necessary that Elliott wave principles can be applied to each and every chart and we
Yes,
can
yes.
predict each and every move. That's not possible.
Absolutely.
Like, sometimes you might really find कि हाँ ये perfect setup है, but
हाँ.
sometimes we would be left like right now, like when to enter DMart, we don't know.
So yeah,
the
I mean, you
principles
have
of-
to look. हम तो students को ही समझाते हैं कि look for patterns that you can recognize. That
right.
you can recognize. It's possible that master can recognize all of them. But if you
course.
can recognize something, then act on it. If you cannot recognize, go to another chart.
Right, right. I think Purvi sir, we had a very nice session. We are 10
Absolutely.
minutes past 9. I think I would have gone for another few hours.
नहीं आप please. We would like to listen to you also.
No. I would have gone on like asking from you and learning from you. It's been such an interesting session. Like, yeah, we have
Yeah,
really enjoyed.
because the time is
Yeah.
up, we'll have to stop here. And then if anybody contacts me, Anil, for some
Yeah.
direct advice, then I will give them your number and they can contact
I'll
you,
ask
right?
one more question, sir. Like,
Yeah.
Yes, please.
do you apply GAN analysis and neo wave analysis also
No.
to your setups,
No, that's
time
too confusing.
cycles?
That is too confusing. I want something
Right,
very, very simple कि आंख से दिखना चाहिए. हाँ,
right,
कुछ कैलकुलेशन
right,
करने की जरूरत नहीं होनी चाहिए. हाँ,
right,
अभी देखो हमने कितने चार्ट देखे, हमने कोई नंबर नहीं देखे.
right,
I
right.
can mark it
Absolutely.
on the chart कि कहाँ क्या हो सकता है.
Right. There's
And my
one more
indicators are pretty
question.
accurate कि क्या
Okay.
what happens and when. I mean, let me show you one more chart.
Yeah, of course, sir. Of
That is one
course.
of my favorite. Now I have started to manage some portfolios of people. तो अभी ये मैंने अपने जो फ्रेंड्स के लिए पोर्टफोलियो बनाए थे उसमें खरीदवाया था.
कल्याण ज्वेलर्स, या बहुत अच्छा किया इसने, क्या रन अप दिया.
So you see, this is how it happened. So this was making a base here, went up very impulsively. If you blow this up, it will show that it was pretty impulsive over there. This is clear impulse, हाँ. इसके बाद में इसने 3-way move दिया इधर. So this was a 3-wave decline. So I just made my channel. To be frank, I do not trust any of the jewelers. I know that they are all crooks, and so I would never buy from them. But apparently they are making profits. So
अभी मोती सन्स का देखा सर आपने, हमारा जयपुर का ही है मोती सन्स ज्वेलर्स जो भी आईपीओ आया था.
अच्छा ऐसा.
अरे आप उसका चार्ट निकालो.
So this was the move. So I was looking
Yeah.
at this, मैंने कहा यार this looks good because this is the first uptrend. इसके बाद जाएगा तो इतना तो जाएगा. So let's buy it over here as soon as it breaks out. So I
Wow.
brought it over here. हाँ, कितने में लिया था? Let me see.
आई थिंक 90 रुपए का है शायद.
हाँ ये नहीं,
80-90 रुपए का.
वही 100 के आसपास, 90-100 के आसपास लिया है. तो वहां से
हम्म.
लेकर के रख लिया कि हाँ इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए अभी ठीक है. Oh, the thing hasn't looked back.
या
Just keeps on going, had $400.
अभी तक एक भी लोअर लो नहीं बना है. उसने अपना मूविंग एवरेज का ट्रेंड लाइन को टच
हाँ,
करता है एंड देन
हाँ.
इट जस्ट गोज अप फ्रॉम देयर.
Yeah.
या
So this was something which I picked up very fast. तो ये अच्छा था. So you have to just
राइट,
do your work and hope for the best. And this
राइट.
was my screener. Hey, wait a minute. I was wrong. I actually bought it here. 71. वही मैंने 90 में तो नहीं लिया, 70 में लिया है मैंने. हाँ. So this was my thing. So this made this 5 bars outside the channel.
राइट.
तो अभी देखो इसके पहले में it never went outside the channel for multiple consecutive bars. मतलब the whole bar has to be outside. ये नहीं माना जाएगा.
ओके, राइट, गॉट इट.
And it
जो
should,
ये
this is
वाला है
also,
जो पूरा
हाँ,
बार्स आए इसके
हाँ,
जुलाई
जैसे
ऑनवर्ड्स.
ये पूरे बार बाहर थे ना, वैसे ऊपर कहीं नहीं बना वो. And then continuously in the channel. And then suddenly what happens here is that 1 bar, 2 bar, 3 bar, 4, and the software marked it as 5. Now, if it is making a 5 bar and the beginning of a move on a weekly basis, just buy it. Just buy it with eyes closed.
Got it.
You have to have your stop loss, obviously. You have figure out कर लो.
Of course.
But you buy it here. Oh,
Yeah.
वहां से the thing has just, I mean, think about it, yeah. 400 रुपए from $70. कितना टाइम लगा है उसको?
Amazing run up.
1.5 years.
Amazing run up. And like similar patterns we saw in the PSU sector, like Coal India, ONGC, HPCL,
Coal India, there is a
the
video which I
ONC
have made.
sector.
Coal India में YouTube video है मेरा. I think I made it in year back or 8 months back.
Oh,
Coal India
wow.
is going to go to the moon.
Wow.
And it actually reached there.
So, so again, like, do you think that we should book profits in Coal India or let it run?
Oh, I have to check it again. I think it's going good.
So
I think
Shankar
so
has
far
asked
there has
this
been no
question.
corrective.
Shankar has asked this, what is this channel that you're showing in green?
Oh, that is a
Yeah.
different system. I can, if he can send me an email or something or a WhatsApp message, I will send him the details of the system.
Okay.
That is from
I
my
will
current mentor.
I'll connect both of you.
Yeah.
I have
So
both your numbers, so I can connect you.
Coal India तो अच्छा चल रहा है and this is very good. So
I think we've not seen any break in momentum so far. So
yeah,
all going good.
so now actually point is that we do not have any price action here. It's all blue sky. तो
Yeah.
अभी हम क्या करेंगे? What I do is कि I put a reverse retracement. So I put
Okay.
Fibonacci retracement here. So मोटा माटी target is $570.
Right,
If
right.
somebody asks me, I give them 570 as a
Target.
thumb
Got
rule.
it. Got it, sir. Got it.
चलो चलो आप अपना बताओ ना. I'm just willing to hear
I
your
think we
stuff.
will conclude right now. We are off our time limit.
Okay.
But we'll definitely plan another session. I think yeah, in the daytime somewhere on Sunday where we can have pretty long span of time for discussion. So so I think on behalf of everyone, I would really like to thank you also for such a wonderful session and very interactive session. And we really enjoyed listening to you. I think more sessions to look forward with different setups with you very soon. Thank you,
Thank you
Purvesh,
so
sir.
much.
I'll hand over to you.
Right. Thank you very much, Dr. Anil Singhvi. I think you have really initiated a lot of questions and interest, and Srishti was able to add her thoughts to it and ask you very appropriate questions.
Yeah.
And the
Thank you, sir.
best part is that you have shown the charts like Avinash showed earlier. You have also shown the charts and have been discussing live based on the questions being asked. So it is not as if you are showing only some selected isolated
Yeah.
chart, but
Yeah.
you are actually showing how we can do on a regular basis. And this is really fantastic. So thank you once more, Anil. Thank you, Srishti. I think time to finish here today. And not before reminding all of you that next one will be the last Thursday of March. Again, we start at 8 p.m. on Zoom. So good night, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. And probably, hopefully, you will have a good dinner also now.
And I think, sir, if you can ask if sir has any YouTube channel,
Yes,
and
of course.
people can see his
Yes,
videos,
yes.
and we can share the
Just
link
put
here.
a search with Anil Singhvi and Elliott Wave, and you will hit that.
Anil Singhvi and Elliott will. I'll try to find out, and
Yeah.
I'll take your number from sir and
Earlier, I used to
share
make
the
a lot of
links.
videos, but recently, last 1 year, I haven't been finding time. But you will find a lot of stuff there.
Anil,
Sure,
don't
sir.
say you don't have time. You have time for a new passion of yours, and that is helping people change their lifestyle.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
All
Good
right.
night.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Take
Good
care.
night, sir. Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye bye.
Thank you
Bye.
so much.
Bye.